guess record to the. But again, I want to welcome everybody. Do we have any guests in the room here? Okay, I don't see any guests here, but I see we got one guest online. Well, actually two. Bob, you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. My name is Bob Filipowski. I'm with the Midwest Model Shipwrights in the Chicago area. And appreciate you guys inviting me to join you this morning.
We're glad to have you, and I'm sorry for the delay in setup. I know that it's a little early for you Central Time, but yeah, we're glad to have you. And Michael, you're back for your second time. You want to just say anything?
Sure. Mike Ellison. I am a member of the New Jersey Ship Model Society and the owner of Sea Watch Books. So thanks for having me again.
Yeah, glad to have you back. Okay, first of all, I want to mention that yesterday was Veterans Day, so I want to thank all of the veterans. I know we have a lot of members here. And also, since we're here in Newport News, I want to thank everybody who builds these fabulous warships for our Navy and Marine personnel to serve on. So thank you all for that.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
You're retired.
Yeah. John Cheever's designed aircraft carriers, so he what you see floating out in the ocean now, a lot of it is his work.
Take credit for the appearance.
Okay, we had a really good blog book that John produced, and in it we had the minutes. Any corrections or additions to the minutes? Okay, so that stands as corrected. And I got the purser's report. We started the month off with $3,355.53. We had dues of $20.50. That was our total receipts. Disbursements, we had the NRG charter chapter renewal for $30. And that leaves us a balance at the end of the month of $3,346.03. We got 41 regular members, 9 associate members, and 1 honorary member. And we had 1 resignation this month. So old business, I'm going to go into the auction. John, you want to make any comments on the auction?
Other than the fact that it's over.
Well, I think the auction ran really well. And how many items did we have?
We ended up with, I believe there were 160 items that were offered.
Sold about 137.
And we sold, I think there's 5 or 6 things that are still going to run out until December. And I think that was what Greg put out there.
What about more items?
There are a few things that weren't offered that we can put into another auction down the road. If you guys really like this format, it was a little bit of work, but it was actually better for me because I could split the work up over time instead of kind of cram it all into 5 hours.
Well, being from New Jersey, I enjoyed participating.
Yeah.
And it lets guys from you guys participate. That's right.
Yeah.
I mean, as a user, I thought it was great. Really, it does look like it was a lot of work.
Well, I think John did all the work. I know Greg set it up, but I mean, as far as putting the pictures and there was a lot of work.
And I took some notes down on some things that I'm going to talk with Greg. I think that we can improve some of the information that you guys see on a regular basis. So, but other than that, I was real happy with it.
I think it worked really well.
And I think we should do it this way.
I said I was too.
Yeah.
I
liked it. I know it was a lot of work on you, but it was a really good process. But first time we've tried an online auction, and I think it was really a success. All right, is there any other, do you get anything about the auction?
I have 2 comments on one. There was an item that, several items that said there was a reserve on this item. That means if we don't hit that level, it won't sell. Can we know what the reserve is, or is that
Well,
on the items?
we could make the reserve the starting bid.
Yeah.
Normally, I don't think I ever know what a reserve is at an auction that I've gone to.
Okay.
I would prefer we didn't. I will say this, some of the items actually went past the reserve, and so there was no issue. There was others that got very close to the reserve, and so we just closed them out and sold them. And there were one or two things that the bridge discussed whether we should let it go where it was based on the reserve, and we elected to let them go. We did it that way.
I'm not sure reserve would even be necessary in this case. In any event, okay, that's fine. It was, for a trial run, I guess, more or less, I thought it did very, very well. And everything was in order and worked as it should. I'm not sure that I would agree with it completely replacing the live auction, because part of the live auction was the interaction with camaraderie.
Yeah.
So I'd have my druthers and it worked out right. I'd rather continue that and also still have the live auction. Just my thought.
I think that was pretty much the consensus before. I think it was leave it that way. So we can plan on both.
Right? Excellent. All I got.
Okay, is there any other old business?
Well, let me just say,
Okay, auction.
I'm sorry. Those of you who won things, I have it between Ryland's car and my car. We have it in the parking lot out on the out back, closer to the old Peninsula Fine Arts Center, parked on that side, so we can distribute to those are here. And some of the other stuff we already have instructions on what to do with it. So
Right.
just let you guys know that.
And I'm collecting payments, so I had hoped to have everything set up, but the password on this computer really threw me this morning. So plus you can't get phone service in the museum. But anyway, any other?
Hey, Ryland, John said that it was okay if I just give you a check when you bring it by, but I could send you one earlier if you need it.
That's not a problem. I'll see you
December the 15th.
December, and not a problem. Glad to do it for you. Nice to see you too. Okay.
Yeah, maybe you'll have some time for some lunch.
Okay. All right. Any other discussion on the auction? Okay. Any other old business? Yeah, Hank?
I safely delivered Eve's model to his wife Tommy, and she's very appreciative of having it delivered. Just make sure to say hello to everybody, and in particular, Gene and Greg. That's taken care of.
Okay.
Eve's model.
I don't know if y'all heard that or not, but we had a member that passed away. This model had been in the modeler's booth for a while, and it finally got delivered back to his wife, and she was very appreciative of getting it back. Okay. Any other old business?
Under that same thing, we've still got paper modeler, the LST or whatever it is in the model shop. What's the guy's name?
David Tagg?
David Tagg.
Yes.
David Tagg.
Has anybody been in touch with his family? It's been several years and it's still sitting there.
It's been many, many years. He passed away about 8 years ago.
Yeah, but I think the person to talk to as far as that connection would be Gene. I think
Gene's wife knows
and
Karen.
Marilyn are the only two that are keeping in touch with her.
Okay.
Karen.
I have a place for it in the museum, but we started this vast conceptual change. Might have lost it.
Okay.
Good, thank you.
Any other old business? Let's move on to new business. Anybody have any new business? Okay, I'd like to bring up one item. In the past, we've always made a contribution to the Mariners Museum, and we haven't done that this year. We had a real successful auction, and in the past, we've always donated $1,000 to the museum, and they've been very appreciative of that. They, give us some meeting room here. What are y'all's discussion on this?
I move we did the same.
Okay.
Next.
All right. We got a motion to make a $1,000 contribution to the Mariners Museum, and it's been seconded. Okay.
How much did we get on the auction?
$2,073. And with that added to what our balance was, we got about $5,300. And okay, so all right, all in favor? Any opposed? Okay, motion passed. We will make a contribution to the Heritage Museum. Any other new business? Okay, I guess we move into show and tell. Who wants to go first?
Did you want me to call Greg?
Yeah.
All right, let me call Greg because I was supposed to do that.
Well, it just, we got into show and tell a lot quicker than normal, so.
You won't believe.
My head is still spinning. All right, I'll call Greg.
Who wants to go first? Okay, Mike?
Yeah, I picked up some acrylic cases and KG plastics. And I brought one of them in case anybody's ever considered them. You can take a look at the work up there, table up front. I've had many cases made before, but this is about the nicest quality. Anyway, it's right
KG,
on KG.
KG and,
Can I move this?
Pardon me?
Can I move it closer to the camera?
AG and Norva have done a lot of work with the museum in the past. We do almost everything in-house now. But they're the ones I recommend because we had such a good relationship with them.
Right.
Yeah, I've always used.
KAYGE. They're on Ingleside Road in Norfolk.
Industrial part of it. The other is Norva.
That's a very nice
Not
case.
cheap, but
It's heavy,
the
too.
Quality of seeing, well, that's 3/16 acrylic. And that case doesn't need to be that, but my other ones are bigger.
Joshua, did you get in touch with Greg?
That one there is $250.
Yeah, I'm online now.
Yeah, he's logged in.
And Nick, you said
Okay.
you did a 1/8 that's considerably cheaper.
I've built some that.
How much was that case?
That was $250.
$250.
I bought several that size of the thinner plastic, about 150.
Yeah, that's what it is.
From the same place?
Yeah,
Okay.
same place.
What was it, KG?
KG.
KAYGEE.
Okay, KAYGEE Plastics.
Two words. My other one is 45
That's where I got
bucks.
mine done as well.
Well, they got a location up your way?
That was great.
No, they're in Norfolk.
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought it was Joshua. All right, good. Okay,
I
who's
don't think
next?
KG makes bases though.
No.
They custom made a base for one of my clients. It was huge, made of Teflon or something.
They make just about everything out of it.
Is it better to make the base first?
Yes.
Okay,
Make
and
it-
then have the case made, or you get the case and then make the base?
Bring them the base,
No,
and they'll tell them how tall you want it, and they'll build it to fit your base.
Okay,
Or you can buy the case and then fabricate your base.
around the
That's
case.
what I do.
I've done
That's what I
that.
did.
Yeah.
Done it both ways.
Okay, I've got my longboat, Medway longboat I'd like to get a case for.
The museum also recommends 4 inches clearance. 4.5 adds 8 inches, the width adds 8 inches, and the height adds 4 inches.
Okay,
That's great.
So,
yeah,
don't have the footprint of a museum at home.
all right, that was your,
This is the.
can I go? Can I go next, guys?
I don't know.
yeah, I don't guess we have a problem, yeah.
Here, spotlight me, and I'll walk around and give you guys a taste of
Yeah,
what's here.
Riley, can you spotlight Greg's iPhone?
Okay, how do you take?
Hit the 3 dots.
Here we go. All right, I don't know how well you can hear me. There's a lot of noise here. I can't hear you all that well. I'm just going to walk around the space and show you what's here. It's a pretty good event. It's tons of stuff. It's like 3 different rooms. I think this is the ninth annual one. I say annual, I'm sure there was a COVID break.
Greg,
like there
can you
was for
can you
everything
slow
else.
down a little bit?
Oh, yeah. Well,
You're
I
flying.
didn't know how much time you wanted me to take, right? So,
I don't know. I'll let the group vote, but I wanted to at least spend a second to see one or two of these.
yeah.
What event is this?
This is the Oxford Community Center Model Boat Show, the ninth annual one. So I'm here with Gene Berger and Don Good from our club.
Where is this located?
On the Eastern Shore, it's very close to St. Michael's. I think most people know where St. Michael's is.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah,
There's a bunch of them.
All right, so I'm going to speed up. I'm in a little side room. I'm walking out into the main hall. There's some big RC boats here.
Good shot.
You can see the big lead weight keel on this one. I'm sorry, I'm joining our club meeting. It's being held right now. We're just doing show and tell live. Thanks.
Recording live from Oxford,
Yeah.
Maryland.
So I like the way they've got the runabout display. That's pretty cool. So here's our setup. Hampton Road Ship Model Society. Gene's two boats. And my small display.
Nice.
Say hi to everyone, Don, Debbie.
Hi, everybody.
This guy's really into duck hunting punts. He's got a huge collection of them.
Is Larry Valet there?
Larry who?
Larry Valet. He's their president of the Washington Club.
I will keep my eyes out for him. I have not had time to meet everyone yet. Yep, I am. Say hi to.
Hello, Gene.
You guys just got a screen full of mustache there.
Sorry,
Collection of
we're just
Chesapeake Bay
glad your
things.
ears are clean, Greg.
Let's see. There's a bunch of half holes in here. I haven't really had a time to look at everything yet, so I'm seeing everything for the first time along with you guys.
Big show.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I'm jealous.
Well, come out next year. Oh my goodness, this is a big thing. Isn't it?
Oh, yes, yeah.
Why don't you come around on this side?
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people on that
So I'm there's a big scale here. I'm joining our club meeting live, so we're normally
Miss Jean.
Hampton Ship Model Society meets at the Mayor's Museum once a month, and that
There's
happens
Jean
to be
again.
today. So this is the show and tell portion.
Right.
There's Jean. Yeah. All right, there's just a bit more to show you.
Those river models, did they have a display there?
What's that?
The Wide River models.
I don't know if they have a display, but I talked to somebody who watched our meeting online, where Al Sutton had mentioned the Y River models, and he said he's made two of them. That one he wants to show them to me some point later in the day. We haven't gotten around to that yet. This was like a paper model. If Dave Baker was still if Dave Baker was still in the club, he'd like to see these, but he's not. So
Is this mainly put on by the Washington Ship
No.
Model Society?
no, there used to be a show in St. Michael's at the museum there.
Yeah.
This is just the Oxford Community Center does this. I think it's their own thing.
Oh, okay.
So, and so you guys,
Is there-
there's a familiar face over here. You guys know him.
Brian Boyle. How you doing, Brian? There's the Shiloh.
Yep. Here's Washington Ship Model Society up here, I think. I'm not sure. Maybe not. There's a large plank on frame under construction. Yeah, it's Washington right there. Who are you looking for? What was his name again?
Larry.
Larry. That's not Larry.
No, it's like an empty chair.
Anyway, that's about it. So just wanted to.
What other clubs are attending besides Washington? You know.
As far as like
There's Larry's
organized
model.
club participation, they're the only ones I've seen. It's a lot of individuals. But it's a nice show. It's a nice venue. So it gives you a kind of a sweeping overview. I'm up on it's a community center, so not surprisingly, they have a stage here for plays or concerts or whatever. There's a bunch of subs here. Anyway, I'm gonna log off and let you guys get to the rest of your show and tell. Thanks for letting me chime in.
Thanks for taking us around, Greg.
All right, good. Have a good meeting.
Okay. Okay. Go to with Phil.
So this is the Muscogee Bay Lobster Smack kit from Model Shipways, which I started building last month and I finished last night, basically. And I made it as a gift for a friend of mine who is in the Coast Guard and is really into, you know, small sailing boats and things like that. And it's got an inscription on the base that says, "Oh Lord, thy sea is so great and my boat is so small," which is a variation of a plaque that was on President John F. Kennedy's desk. And I thought it fit pretty well for this boat and for my friend. And pretty happy with the rigging and whatnot. Made a lot of improvements in some of my skills with ship modeling in this kit. So, yeah.
Is that one with David Anthershole's series of?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
third one.
That's right. Mm-hmm. And so it's definitely it's good for beginners and I guess for intermediate people too. So yeah.
Very nice. And you had a build log on Model Ship World on this, didn't you?
I did, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I got a lot of views.
That's right.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Yeah, definitely.
Anybody else going next?
We spotlight that one.
Oh.
So this is the Chesapeake Bay, or sorry, this is the Sharpie from the Nautical Research Guild plans, continuing to move really, really slowly. Interval change since last time a few months ago has just been mostly the metal fittings, which I am almost done with. I've also made the cleats and stuff. All the spars are done. Big project was an anchor, which my silver soldering is getting better. But hoping to wrap this up pretty soon, just trying to decide whether to make sales for it or not.
Oh man, that's nice. And that was the plans from the NRG.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally scratch. And what were the woods that you used?
So this is it's mostly boxwood trimmed out in pear.
Okay. And this is Dave Chelmo for y'all online here. That's But yeah, he's done a excellent job. I mean, you need to see it in person to see the detail. Very nice.
It's beautiful work. Very impressive.
What's next? Sean?
So at the last meeting, I talked about the process that I was going to do to copper siren. I showed the press, so I ended up actually pressing out a bunch of individual plates, and then from there started lining the hull with those individual plates. And then additionally, I added the cap rail, again, all out of maple that I've milled myself. So that's where I'm at. I next have to put the top row of copper on, and then copper the keel and the bow, and then start working on the rudder.
There's a guy in the Chicago club by the name of Patrick Sands, and he's working on his siren. I think you've seen his build log.
Yes. Yeah.
And I mean, this rivals his, and his is excellent. But this is really a beautiful model. I mean, you got to see it in person. I mean, the tree nailing on the bulwarks. It's going to be a beautiful model when you finish that.
Thank you. It'll take some time. And then lastly, what I wanted to show is I've been starting on the cheeks, the upper cheeks, and then the hair bracket. So this is the starboard hair bracket. Originally tried to make them out of maple. That didn't work out so well, broke the first couple tries. And then I remembered I had some boxwood, and so I started trying to build them out of boxwood. So you can see the carving I've done on it. It took me, for the hair bracket, the starboard one, I went through a couple of iterations before I got one that came out right. I'm still struggling on the port side. I've gone through 3 attempts and broken all 3. So hopefully the 4th one will come out, and then I'll put those on as well.
They're almost 3-dimensional too.
Yeah. Yep. So, but again,
Beautiful
I'll scratch. But
Are you bending the hair rails or carving them?
I'm carving them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's where the scroll is at the top. I've been carving that scroll in, and just the pressure of trying to get it carved in has snapped the scroll on all 3 of the previous attempts. So it's just, as we talked about, it's not patience. It's just continuing to push through it, and a few choice words when I snap one.
You tried needle files as opposed to sharp instruments?
I've been using a very, very sharp number 11 to describe it. I made a little jig. I didn't bring it in, but I have essentially a piece of hard steel wire that I've bent into. I shaped it into a point, and I bent it so that I can run it along the edge to get a scribe line. And then I go over it with a number 11, and then it's just a variety of different tools just to widen it. I've got an old drafting compass point that is really, really sharp. And I've got it in like a drill holder, and that's what I'm drawing to try to widen it open. But just, when you start changing direction on the grain and trying to get it to come across on such a really, really small area, I'm snapping it. So I've got to use a lot less pressure, a lot more patience. I've tried the real small files. I've got a few sets of Jules files that I got from a guy up in Richmond, but they're still way too big for that little tiny scroll. I just can't get in there. The needle point seems to be the only thing I've I've successfully so far tried to go do it. So, but
Could you
hopefully
use- Could you use dental chisels perhaps?
I do. That's part of some of the things that I've used. You had given me a box of dental chisels, and that's what I've been using, as well as the compass needle. And it's just, again, I think it's just a matter of when I go against the grain, I'm putting a lot of pressure, and that pressure is what's snapping them. So I gotta get the patience to go over it 100 times instead of trying to do it in 20, strokes kind of deal.
Did you say you were not having success with maple? Or
I didn't have success with
but you went to
maple,
boxwood?
but the boxwood is
If
better.
you look at the grain of each, and you mentioned grain a number of times, the break or the snap is going to come along a grain line, and you can't even see grain in boxwood. It's so dense and so
Yeah,
slow.
but when I'm sitting there with the fine needles trying to do it, I can feel where, I've started to come across, because it'll catch, right? And it's that catching. When I catch it, I want to break through that catch. And that's where I put the pressure and I snap
So
it.
boxwood is a better bet.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so it's just patience that I don't have. So that's
Okay.
my stuff for this week.
Very nice. Any more show and tell in the room?
I haven't seen copper plating that fine in a long, long time. Too many people punch it out so you can see these big knots. And if you looked at the full size ship, they'd be this
Yeah.
big, But this is fine.
Were you here last month?
Yeah.
You saw his template. Hey, he was stamping them out. Okay. All right. Is there any show and tell online?
Sure. I've been working on the Artie Burke. It's a model from Blue Jacket, and I made pretty good progress on it this last month. I still have quite a bit of work to do yet. Getting the rails on, putting the ladders in, the gun turret for it. One of the trickiest things that I had to work on this was the kind of freehand sculpturing you had to do up here where the anchor chain comes through on the bow. And so I recruited my wife to give me a hand on that, but it really is quite tricky. It needs to be feathered in real well, so it's real subtle slope out to the carving, but it's completely freehand. You make it basically out of, vinyl plate paste. So, but it's coming along. Have quite a bit of finished work yet to do on it, but it's a good model, nice model.
The Blue Jacket?
It is Blue Jacket, yes.
What is the name of the ship again?
Artie Burke.
Oh, Artie Burke.
Yeah. Good size too. It's I think it's close to 30 inches long.
Nice. Okay, anybody else online? Okay. All right, well, I guess it's the end show and tell. We're gonna take a real quick break here, about less than 5 minutes, hopefully, for John to get set up to do his presentation, which is carving the perfect hole. So,
That's not.
so we'll be back with y'all in just a little bit.
Awesome. Half-inch bit, and the amount of cambers that I'm using, this has got a lot more shear to it than this hole here has a lot more shear. You can see the deck in there than some of the others, but it handled it just fine. So, and there's the piece that's on here to mount it, so you put it on the power arm. I can swing in any direction I want. And earlier I was talking about that piece that was added for the drag right there. Where that glue line is was the original baseline of the glued up block Haul lift. That's all I have. If any more questions? Thank you. Turn it back over to you.
I don't know if we recorded that or not.
I've given it before. Probably didn't.
All right, guys, I want to thank everybody for coming to the meeting. Sorry about all the technical problems we had. This was the first. But it was definitely an excellent presentation, and I appreciate y'all being online, and we'll try to do this again next month. Thanks a lot.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you.
Did it because you dropped it down. Exactly.
Hey, Mike Ellison, I just want to let you know I got that ad.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Thanks, Bob.
Okay, guy.
Talk soon.
Getting money now. Yeah, busy with everything else.
That's what I'm saying. Because at the end of the day, the difference in that two ranges might only be a lesson.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
It's really going out, but this is something, when I first saw you, I kept thinking, this is gonna affect it. I don't think it does, because it's perpendicular at every given point of that curve. And if it's narrow, then it won't cut very far.
All right, so we'll be getting stuff out in the parking lot.
Yes, yes.
I know that. What he's saying is the camera,
I just got
the
the
camera on the
right.
tool is here, or on the carriage is here, but you're down.
Oh, that's somebody else.
Yeah.
Parallel.
I mean, you're cutting,
You got everything
you're
else.
cutting to the point.
Everything else.
The bottom of this cutter is horizontal. So as you move it, it's always perpendicular.
It's always perpendicular.
And the smaller it is, the less difference there is. The outer edge and the canvas.
The difference is